In the previous life, the man was the greatest and strongest human warrior. Whether it was physical fitness or the synchronization rate of grafting equipment, he was the most powerful existence. This man, revered as the king by all warriors, led the global warriors to repel the 7 fin demons and won a precious period of development for humanity. But until the moment of his death, the man discovered that there were actually 8 fin demons beyond human cognition. The badly wounded man was powerless to resist and could only watch as the demon reached out its claws towards him. Unexpectedly, the man crossed over to 60 years later and possessed a completely different body from before. However, the man did not expect that this body would be so weak. Even the entry-level physical fitness test like the warrior assessment, all the scores would be at the bottom. Even the most ordinary arm strength test could easily cause injuries. Even in the test of grafting device synchronization rate determined by will, with the man's previous life's strength of a stable synchronization rate of over 96%, at least it could reach 80%. However, this body could not withstand it, and the power supporting the synchronization rate suddenly scattered, and the synchronization rate also dropped to a barely passing 10%. The man was puzzled why this was happening. Even if this waste body was weak, the situation where the power suddenly scattered was never seen before. The man's anomaly caught the attention of the team leader, Geo Hall. Picking up the power core that the man dropped on the ground, he frowned slightly. What kind of strength does this thin newbie named Ong, who has the same name as the great warrior in the past, have? I want to see what kind of performance you will have in the next round of practical combat drills. The first 2 rounds of tests have ended. The assessment process for the new warrior enters the 3rd stage, the fog hunting assessment outside the wall. Everyone comes to the front of the city wall gate, waiting for the upcoming practical combat drill. Open the gate. With the issuance of the command, the heavy city gate slowly rises, and the fog outside the wall can already be felt from the gap that has just been opened. The newcomers who have never been out of the city wall can't help but talk about it. Oh my god, it's the first time to go outside the city wall. I don't know if the outside of the wall has really been shrouded in fog all the time. At this time, Ong thought, after 60 years, do humans all live in such isolated towns? Stop whispering, go out of the city quietly, the leading instructor shouted. If you have this time, you should check the equipment more, otherwise you won't even know how you will die later. Ong looks down at the brand new and intact power core on his chest, thinking about the strange situation that occurred during the previous synchronization rate test. The power suddenly dispersed at that time, as if something in his body refused the core, which didn't seem to be a problem with the core itself. Ong can't figure out what was going on. Maybe it was a side effect of time traveling. Just as the first step out of the city gate is taken, Ong instantly feels something unusual. There is a strange feeling in the right leg that has just been taken, and the whole body seems to radiate an energy wave through the ground. This wave seems to convey some kind of information outward, and it can also sense information. The energy wave spreads rapidly and quickly spreads to almost every corner. The demons in the places it passes through all perceive this information, begin to become restless. With the spread of the energy wave, the information was transmitted to the den where the 7 fin demon was located. The demon leader who ruled the area felt this abnormal information, and it was shocked by the powerful energy wave. How is it possible? It's an even more advanced demon than my 7 fin demon. At this moment, Ong is equally shocked. What was that? Were those just seen demons? At this moment, Ong seems to have an inexplicable resonance deep in his heart. At this moment, a voice sounds from behind. Are you going or not? Ong comes to his senses, turns around and sees Sitalu standing behind him with a blank expression. Realizing that he is blocking someone's way, Ong awkwardly apologizes. Sorry. Ong, what's up? Snow sees Ong stop in front of the city gate and comes over to ask. Todoro also comes over when she hears the sound, still not forgetting to take pictures with the camera at any time. Before Ong says anything, the leading instructor in front yells to them. The 4 of you at the back, you become a group. At this time, the others have already been prepared, leaving only the 4 of them at the end. Todoro has a look of sudden realization on her face, pokes her head close to Aang's face and says, "Oh, is this your teaming strategy? Just don't hold us back." Before Aang can explain what happened earlier, he sees Sitalu say this and walk by with a blank expression. Although there is no expression on her face, Lu secretly breathes a sigh of relief in her heart. I was scared to death. I was still worried that no one would be willing to team up with me just now. Come on, Aang, we also need to work hard. Snow comes over and pats Aang on the shoulder and says. The team is formed. Todoro makes a V sign and presses the shutter of the camera to record the scene. Outside the city wall stands a dispersing steel made of solid stone. This kind of black stone contains a special substance that can disperse the mist. The third round of the wall outside mist hunting assessment is carried out in teams of 4. Each warrior will be distributed 2 kinds of equipment. One is a combat dagger, and the other is a small mist dispersing device. The stones in this device are the same as the materials of the dispersing steel, and both have the effect of dispersing the mist. The assessment task is to enter the mist, find the designated glowing place, insert the dispersing device, disperse the mist, and hunt finless demons. Assessment results will be determined by each person's performance, based on individual ability and teamwork, to judge whether they are qualified or not. Wall outside mist hunting is the last fear that newcomers need to face. In this world already shrouded in mist, the battle that the warriors have to face is the unknown danger lurking within. To become a warrior, not only physical fitness and qualifications are required, but also a strong mentality that is not afraid of the mist. Face the unknown, rely on teamwork, overcome fear, gain vision, and fight against the demons that appear randomly in the venue. Finally, gain the title of warrior in the first kill. This group's assessment is finished. The next group, get ready. The instructor in charge gives directions to the new recruits and has them go outside the city wall for assessment in batches. Right now, the 3 captains of Hello City are standing on the top of the city wall, observing the assessment outside the wall. There are quite a few excellent newcomers in this batch, but I have a clear goal. I'm only interested in Sitalu from the Situ family. The female captain looks at the soldiers below and says with appreciation on her face, "This female captain is the captain of the 2nd team in Hello City, Dada Jier. She not only has a beautiful appearance, but also has strong combat capabilities. How about you?" Captain Jier raises her head and asks the other 2 captains. The captain of the 1st team, Joel, replies, "Well, coming from a martial arts family, with good training, maybe she can become an excellent warrior." There is one more person worth noting. Hall looks at Ong below the city wall and says with a meaningful glance, "What's the deal with this Ong exactly?" At this moment, Captain Hall is lost in thought. He specifically checked. The core that Ong used during the test of synchronization rate at that time was confirmed to be fine. So what exactly happened to him at that time? Just as the captain is thinking, a fist reaches to his ear and gently taps on his head. "What are you thinking about, Allie?" Captain Jier winks her big, watery eyes and stares at Hall. Blushing from the sudden attack, Hall yells red-faced, "Don't call me Hallie." Joel looks at Hall's embarrassed look and teases, "Since the beginning, only Jier can make you blush, Allie." Hall stares at Joel's punchable face and becomes even more embarrassed and indignant, yelling at him, "You are definitely not allowed to call me that." "By the way, have we confirmed the demon level?" Captain Jier sterns up, inquiring with a hint of worry. "Well, don't worry," Hall answers just as seriously. For the safety of today's assessment, he has repeatedly confirmed for several days there will be no one-fin demons near the Hellos town, and only the prearranged finless demons will exist within the assessment scope. If there really are, we'll have to exert our best efforts to protect them. Looking at these future warriors below the city wall, the 3 captains are willing to risk everything to protect them, even at the cost of their lives. As the assessment progresses, the previous few groups have already completed the assessment. It's Aang's group's turn to take the stage. The crowd begins to discuss. It's the group with Sitalu, even Aang is in it. At this point, the 4 are rubbing their hands in anticipation, and Aang holds a mist dispersal device in his hand, ready to charge towards the designated spot. Now, a hand reaches over to Aang's side and grabs the dispersion device in his hand with a loud snap. Before Aang reacts, the device in his hand is already gone. "Follow me." Lu snatches the dispersion device from Aang's hand and shouts at the 3 behind her, sprinting ahead with all her might. Keep up with the dazzling me. Lu cannot hold back the urge in her heart to be the center of attention. Aang is angry and helpless after having his device snatched away. This girl just loves to show off. Without much thought, the 3 quickly follow and rush towards the glowing designated location with all their strength. Approaching the glowing point, Lu grips the device tightly, like a vigorous cheetah, leaps up, uses the powerful push-off force, jumps into the air like a flying bird, and then makes a nimble flip, flies towards the glowing point lightly and gracefully like a swallow. She moves skillfully and lands steadily, like a precise hunter. The device is perfectly docked with the glowing point, and the mist dissipates instantly. The whole process is like flowing clouds and running water. In just a few seconds, the entire process from taking off and leaping to device docking is completed in one go. Seeing Lu's performance, Captain Jir can't help but admire. Clearly, it is a recovery core, but the figure is not weaker than the blue agile core. It is worthy of the foundation of the martial arts family. At this moment, the hunting ground after the mist has been dispersed becomes wider, and several finless demons roar and rush towards Lu from all directions. Running at full speed, An shouts to Snow, who is by his side. "Snow, break it open." Snow replies, "Got it." Snow bends his body to accumulate energy, and the power of his whole body converges, like a volcano about to erupt. In an instant, his explosive power is astonishing, and he kicks the ground hard to jump up. He rushes into the air like a rocket and goes straight to Lu, who is targeted by the demon. His figure is like a fierce beast, landing between Lu and the demons with an unparalleled momentum. Snow grips the dagger in his hand tightly, and the core energy continuously gathers, turning into a solid shield, which barely withstands the attack of the demon. With his movement, the formation of the demons seems to be torn apart like cloth, and it opens instantly. An turns the dagger in his hand skillfully, staring at the demons whose formation has been broken by Snow, and shouts, "Lu, Todoro, kill them one by one." "Okay," Todoro replies. Lu remains expressionless, with a hint of disdain. "Humph, do I still need you to tell me?" The three who have reached an understanding take a step at the same time, like an arrow leaving the string, and sprint with all their strength. The three charge towards the target, with steady and powerful steps, lightning-fast speed, and calm and determined eyes. Todoro has bright eyes, keeping a close eye on a demon that rushes towards her fiercely. Holding a sharp dagger in her hand, she swings it like a whirlwind, instantly swinging out several knives. The blade light flashes, like a meteor across the night sky, and the demon is immediately splashed with blood, suffering heavy damage. Todoro seizes the opportunity. Her figure is like a swallow, lightly leaping into the air, and her feet accurately step on the demon's body, exerting a forceful push. The demon is like a kicked ball, falling heavily to the ground with a muffled impact sound. Snow uses all his strength, like a burning meteor, rushing towards the demon and throwing a punch with all his might. This punch is like a volcanic eruption, carrying endless power and momentum. The demon is directly hit hundreds of meters away by this powerful force, flying out like a kite with a broken string, and finally falling heavily to the ground, lifeless. Looking at all this, Joel sighs. The cooperation between these two is unexpectedly quite good, especially that girl. With the addition of the blue sensitive core, it makes her body more rhythmic. Looking at Joel's silly look, Paul shouts angrily, "Hey, where are you looking at others?" On the other side, Lu is also fighting fiercely with a demon. She leaps into the air, condenses the core energy, shouts loudly, and stabs the dagger deeply into the demon's body. Smoke emerges from where the dagger is stabbed, and the entire body of the demon begins to expand, like a balloon about to burst. Lu is agile and nimble, leaping lightly down from the inflating demon's body. She lightly shouts, "Explode," as soon as the words are spoken. The demon's body explodes with thick smoke shooting in all directions. Lu turns around gracefully and leaves, without even looking back at the scene behind her, leaving only a broken battlefield and lingering smoke. At this moment, An is also in fierce combat with the demon. With the rich combat experience of the previous life, An knows very well that the demon has 3 vital points. He thinks to himself, "I'll give you 3 moves first." Quick as a flash, An raises the knife and cuts down, respectively, towards the neck, chest, and abdomen of the demon. When the vital point is hit, the demon loses its balance and the ability to resist. An gathers his strength again and kicks the demon, causing it to roll far away with a thumping sound. The explosive power of this thin body is really limited. An wants to take this practical combat opportunity to test the ability of this body. He takes big steps. His figure is like an arrow. He jumps up fiercely, gathers his strength, rushes forward fiercely, and runs towards the demon in front that stands up again like the wind. "Come on, let me see how capable this body really is."